Oh, Ben, welcome back, bro. Welcome back, bro. Look, man, I had to do something. I had to change it up, bro. Um, I don't know. I had to do something different. Let's go, man. Smash that like on the way in. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. I appreciate you guys being here. We do have a lot to talk about, and I don't want to get faded on this. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. I don't have much time. My daughter is going to be out of school, and I've got to be there to pick her up, man. For some reason, the school listened to her the other day, and she said she was a car rider when she wasn't supposed to be a car rider. And I felt bad because I'm sure she was out there looking for me, you know? So I'm going to be quick. We're going to be quick. We're going to break all this down quickly. I do appreciate you guys very much. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, and let's do it. Family first, mate. You done good. The last couple of days been streaming consistently, man. It's I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate that very much. You know what? I tell you one thing. It is really hard to get people to do. It's really hard to get people to tap the like button. I feel like if I was out here doing some outrageous dumb shit, I could get people to hit the like button more, and that's ridiculous. That's sad. It's a sad world we live in, folks. It's a sad, sad world. You know, you got someone out here trying to bring you something of value, but yet you're going to go and smash the like button on a video of a cat or some dumbass fight video or somebody slapping each other in the face. Come on, man. If you are watching this replay of this live stream and you haven't hit the like button yet, but you're going to go out and hit a like button on some brain-numbing shit. I'm going to call it what it is. Brain-numbing shit. What do they call it these days? The kids are into brain rot? Not my kid. Not my kid. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate you. I appreciate you. Now let's get into it. And this music, I got to get a better playlist going. I know it's just background music, but like when something comes on like this, it's hard for me to vibe with that, and it's hard for me to focus. So hold on, let me fix this. Okay. Let me fix this. This is what are we going to war? Well, that anyways, okay. Let's see. Inspirational, happy, funky sounds good. Bright, calm, Uncle Joe recruiting. No, sir. Bro, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Okay. All right. That don't seem half bad. We might be able to vibe with that. Okay. Okay, folks. All right, guys. So again, let's get into it. Bitcoin losing the 200-day moving average. Obviously, hot talk right now. Hot topic. Bitcoin losing the 200-day is important. Even more importantly, though, is the weekly time frame. And we've talked about that already, right? Let's get into the news. All right, we'll bring you some breaking crypto news first. Don't forget to smash the like button, people, on the way in. Let's go ahead and get into the news. We will jump into the charts quickly. We got to recap what happened, right? We did our live stream yesterday, and we actually did we watched the price action, the TA, get destroyed by Trump's surprise announcement on IVF. Unfortunately, it was IVF and not, tariff or trade developments. Unfortunately, it was just about IVF, the majority anyways. So that announcement turned out to be, crap. But what do we have in store for today? Trump meeting with Zelensky. We have a lot in store for today. So let's get into it. Again, I do have a bunch pulled up here. Now, you guys will just have to bear with me on this as we go through all of this. It is a lot. Okay, let's see here. Just make sure that I've got everything loaded up properly. I did have, let's see. There we go. There we go. Okay. I would like to just pop this up here. And then we are going to go back to, here we go. Okay, guys.
At this point, they are expected to go into the Oval Office now. It's not quite clear if cameras will be allowed to feed any of that conversation live from inside the Oval Office, or if it will come back later. All of that kind of still in flux at this point. Do want to lift up the audio to hear if there is anything there in the background. All right, so at this point, it's pretty much just background noise, but if we do get a live image from inside soon, we are going to bring you to that live. Right now, I do want to take you out to some breaking news that we are following. Take a look. This is with the help of the Associated Press, as the U.S. has seized survivors after a military strike Thursday on a suspected drug-carrying vessel in the Caribbean, the first since President Trump began launching those deadly attacks in the region last month. That is according to a defense official who spoke to the Associated Press here. Now, it's believed to be at least the sixth strike in the waters off Venezuela since early September, and the first to result in survivors who were picked up by the U.S. military. It's not clear just yet what would be done with the survivors, who the people said were being held by a Navy vessel in that area. Now, this is actually video that we have that does show the strike from Tuesday. We're talking, of course, about the strike before this one on Thursday, but you can see the Department of Defense, Department of War also releasing some of those images as well over the past,
all right, guys, here we go. The president will be meeting with President Zelensky.
Now, the folks
so
who
President
spoke
Trump
to the Associated
will
Press
be meeting with
confirmed
President
the strike
Zelensky
on the condition.
And we will be covering that here live as well. So we got that coming up here very shortly, guys.
All right? It was good. He walked in and we put on his music, right? It was great. Great guy. He's coming December 5th to perform at the White House for some of the people. If the cabinet members are good, if they're doing a good job, we'll let them come along with some others, right? We're going to have a good time. December 5th. Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's an honor to be with a very strong leader, a man who has been through a lot, and a man who I've gotten to know very well, and we've gotten along really very well. And we had a big call yesterday, as you know, with President Putin, and we'll be talking about it. President Zelensky of Ukraine has endured a lot. I mean, he really has. He's endured a lot, and we've endured it with him. To be honest, it's been a long time, and I think we're making great progress. So we're going to be talking about that today. We'll be talking about what took place yesterday with my phone call with President Putin. And I think that things are coming along pretty well. It began with Alaska, where I think certain guidelines were discussed, and we want to see if we can get this done. This was long ago into the Biden administration. I came here and we inherited this, and we'd like to see if we could finish it, end it. We want it ended. So many people have died in this war, and we're gonna get it ended. So I just want to thank you all very much. If you have a couple of questions, go ahead, please. In fact, before I do that, let me just ask the President to say a few words. Thank you, President.
Pleasure. Glad to meet you again, Mr. President. Thank you very much for the invitation. Again, my congratulations with your successful ceasefire in the Middle East.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you did it, and I think this is the momentum to finish Russia's war against Ukraine. I think that, yes, we understand that Putin is not ready. I think not ready, but I think that I'm confident that with your help we can stop this war, and we really need it. We see that they don't have successful steps on the battlefield, and it's good. I think that their army is weak now, but a lot of losses. They have a lot of losses, and in economy and people, and I think this is a very important moment. And I wanted to thank you, Mr. President, after our phone calls. Yesterday I had a good opportunity to meet with the big American energy companies, and they're ready to help us. Yes, after all these attacks on our infrastructure, Russian attacks, and etc. And I had also meetings, thanks to your team. We had meetings with a good military companies. We spoke about air defense, and I want to share it after with details where we are. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mr. President. Very good. And I think it looks beautiful in his jacket.
Yeah?
It's a beautiful. I hope people notice. It's a good. It's actually very stylish. I like it.
President Trump.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Under the Biden administration, the White House was fearing of a possible escalation. They were not allowing the Ukrainians to strike into Russia, fearing of this escalation.
Yeah.
Would your administration allow Ukrainians to strike deep into Russia?
We're going to be talking about that. That's something we'll be talking about. You're right. It's an escalation, but we'll be talking about that.
Mr. President. Mr. President Zelensky joined you in Hungary to meet President Putin.
Because it's a leader that we like. We like Viktor Orban. He likes him. I like him. It's a country that's a safe country. Done a very good job. He's been a very good leader in the sense of running his country. He doesn't have a lot of the problems that other countries have. And so we've decided that we'll be going to be with Viktor Orban, and he will, I think he'll be a very good host.
President Trump. President Trump. President Trump. Right here.
It's
President Trump.
Hungary, yeah. We're doing Hungary, yeah.
With Putin. Trilateral meeting, or is it just you and Putin?
To be determined, but I would say most likely it's going to be a double meeting. It'll be a double meeting, but we will have the President, Zelensky, in touch. There's a lot of bad blood with the two presidents, and I'm not speaking out of turn when I say it. It's a very difficult situation. You know, we just settled the war, and after thousands of years, I guess, people say anywhere from 500 to 3,000 years. And I was in rooms, as you saw, because you were with me, a lot of you were with me last week, with leaders that didn't like each other, but they were able to get along. These two leaders do not like each other, and we want to make it comfortable for everybody. So one way or the other, we'll be involved in threes, but it may be separated.
President Trump. Mr. President. President Trump.
Was he what? Where are you from?
From Ukraine. He actually had a
Okay, good.
conversation with me
Good,
in
yeah.
Ukraine. What if President Putin doesn't agree to peace in Hungary? What do you do then? Do you have?
Well, let's see what
steps for
happens.
that?
I mean, you know, what if? I think he will. I think that President Putin wants to end the war, or I wouldn't be talking this way. I think he wants to end the war. I spoke to him yesterday for 2.5 hours. We went through a lot of details. He wants to get it ended. I think that President Zelensky wants to get it ended. Now we have to get it done.
President Trump. Kara Castronova from Lindell TV. And although I love asking you questions, today my question is for President Zelensky
Sure.
of Ukraine.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Our President Zelensky, President Trump, just brokered a peace deal in the Middle East that all Americans, both sides of the aisle, are very proud of. But to meet that deal, both sides had to make concessions. Our president has stuck out his neck in many ways to make a peace deal for your war as well. What specific concessions are you willing to make to end this war with Russia? Will you give up joining NATO? Americans have foreign war fatigue, and our president, as he said, we need our tomahawks too.
To me.
Yes, you, President
Okay.
Zelensky.
Thank you
What
very much.
concessions will you
That's some question. Right?
So many
all right.
questions
Thank
in one. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I think we need to sit and speak. The second point, we need ceasefire. Even now, you see in the Middle East, it's very difficult to hold ceasefire. Everywhere, in every war, it's very difficult. We want peace. Putin doesn't want. That's why we need pressure on him. We will speak with President today what we need. We understand what we need to push Putin to negotiation table. And as I said previously, so we are ready to speak in any kind of format, bilateral, trilateral, doesn't matter. Matter just peace. This is important. And we don't speak about NATO or NATO. For Ukrainians, it's very important. Of course, it's our decision, decisions of allies to decide where we are.
But are you willing?
As bilateral security guarantees between me and President Trump is very important. I don't know, we didn't speak with details about it, but this is the most important document because the United States is very strong.
Sir, President Trump, President Trump, you are the middleman right now, hoping to end this conflict. Who is doing a better job negotiating, President Zelensky or President Putin?
I think they're both doing a great job in that sense. We have to get it done. We've got to take some of the hatred of each other. You know, they don't like each other. I say that in front of President Zelensky, but I say it in front of President Putin too. They have tremendous bad blood. It really is what is holding up, I think, a settlement. I think we're going to get it done, and we have to make it long-lasting. As I said in the Middle East, everlasting, right? Everlasting. And the Middle East is a much more complicated situation. You know, we had 59 countries involved, and every one of them agreed. And it's, you know, it's sort of amazing. Most people didn't think that was doable. This is going to be something I really believe that's going to get done. I had a very good talk yesterday with President Putin. I think he wants to get it done.
And President
Peter?
Zelensky, right behind you. When we were in Israel with President Trump earlier in the week, we heard a lot about the difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Joe Biden before him. What do you see as the biggest difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Biden?
President Trump has a big chance now to finish this war. President Biden now is not the president, so he doesn't have a chance to finish this war. And President Trump is really showed for the world that he can manage ceasefire in Middle East, and that's why I hope that he will do this, and we will also have such big success. for Ukraine, it's a big chance. And I hope that President Trump can manage it.
Are you
I would say the biggest difference is one is extremely competent and the other one is grossly incompetent.
Mr. President.
Sir, a few weeks ago in New York, when you two met, you said that you think Ukraine could ultimately take back all the territory that it's lost so far. Do you still think that's the case, or do you think there'll have to be some sort of
You
swap
never
of
know.
territories?
Look, you know, war is very interesting. You never know, do you? You just never know. With war and peace, but you never know.
Are you ready? President Trump, missile.
Please.
Russia calls Tomahawk supply to Ukraine as an escalation, yet it continues using similar cruise missiles like Caliber. And
Yeah.
even
Who are you with? Who are you with?
Ukraine.
You, Ukraine?
Yes.
Good.
But Russia continue even using the cruise missiles and also nuclear-capable ballistic missiles in Ukraine since 2022. So do you consider providing Ukraine with the Tomahawk or similar missiles as an opportunity to equalize the possibilities of Ukraine and Russia and push Moscow to the negotiation
Yeah.
table?
Sure. We're going to be talking about that. That's why we're here. Okay? Fair question. Exactly as he told you to say it. But we're going to be talking about it. Okay? Yeah, please.
Mr. President, message to India and Hungary who is still refusing.
You said India and Hungary? That's an interesting.
And Hungary
India and Hungary. It's an interesting combination.
refuse to stop buying Russian oil.
Well, India is not going to be buying Russian oil anymore. And Hungary is sort of stuck because they have one pipeline that's been there for years and years and years, and they're inland. They don't have sea. They don't have sea. And I spoke with the very great leader of Hungary, and they are, you know, it's very hard for them to get oil. I understand it. Hungary's in a very interesting position because they can't have ports. You know, they're surrounded by land. So we'll see what happens there. But India will not be buying oil from Russia. And, they've already de-escalated, and they've more or less stopped. They're pulling back. They bought about 38% of the oil, and they won't be doing it anymore.
Mr. President, Trump has been helping you in achieving peace in Ukraine.
Who has?
First Lady Melania Trump
Yeah.
has been helping in returning abducted Ukrainian children from Russian captivity. President Zelensky, do you appreciate those efforts? How do you assess them? And did you ask her to step in to help you?
No, she wanted to do it. She felt very strongly about the children, and she's done a really good job, I think, in bringing it to the fore. You know, we have a lot of children involved. Now, it's some people say it's 20,000, and some people say it's 300. There's a big difference between that, so nobody really knows. But she felt very strongly about the children. She thinks about the children all the time.
President Trump, if you okay Tomahawks to Ukraine, what's going to happen if the United States is in a conflict and we need the Tomahawks? Do we have enough?
That's a problem. We need Tomahawks, and we need a lot of other things that we've been sending over the last 4 years to Ukraine. We've been, you know, we gave them a lot. Now we have a different situation. We send it to the European Union. They pay for it and all that, and they have plenty of money. But it's beyond the money. You know, we need Tomahawks, or we need a lot of other weapons that we're sending to Ukraine. One of the reasons we want to get this war over is exactly that. It's not easy for us to give. You're talking about massive numbers of very powerful weapons. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about. Hopefully they won't need it. Hopefully we'll be able to get the war over with without thinking about Tomahawks. I think we're fairly close to that. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say,
yeah, please.
Just to understand. So for today, of course, we want to finish this war, but the war is another technological war. You don't use just Tomahawks. If you want to target a military goal, you need thousands of drones. It goes together with such missiles. Ukraine has such thousands of our production drones, but we don't have Tomahawks. That's why we need Tomahawks. But United States is a very strong production, and the United States has Tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles, but they can have our thousands of drones. That's why where we can work together, where we can strengthen American production.
And so just so that I understand, so you're suggesting kind of a trade. If President Trump okays Tomahawk missiles to help you launch
Yes, it's
into
about
Russia,
military goals.
then
It's
you
only
would
about
let-
military goals.
Right, but then you would authorize some kind of an exchange where
Yes, of course.
the U.S. gets
Yes, we have
Ukrainian-
proposition. Yeah,
And
we have big proposition
President-
with our drones.
President Trump, I don't mean to be brokering an arms deal here, but is that something that you would be interested in, Ukrainian drones?
We are, yeah, we would. We have a lot of drones right now. We build our own drones, but we also buy drones from others, and they make a very good drone. I mean, drone warfare has really come to the fore over the last couple of years because of this war. I will say, there's nothing like the jets. You know, we knocked out a lot of drones in Israel. We were knocking them out for Israel, and we were doing it with extremely fast and powerful jets, following the drones and knocking the hell out of them. So, you know, we know a lot about the drones, and we know a lot about the great jets, the great ones. The ones, well, and the B-52s, which were totally they were stealth. They were undetectable. So we have a lot of different weapons. And, you know, I have an obligation also, though, to make sure that we're completely stocked up as a country, because you never know what's going to happen. In war and peace, right? You never know what's going to happen. So we're going to be talking about Tomahawks, and would much rather have them not need Tomahawks. Would much rather have the war be over, to be honest, because, you know, we're in it to get the war over. We're selling a lot of different types of weapon, as you know, to the European Union. We're not in it for that. We're in it to get it over. We're losing thousands of people a week. Thousands of people, Russian, Ukrainian, and mostly soldiers. I mean, mostly soldiers. But we're in it to see that end. And if we can end quickly, and I think we can. I mean, I had a very good talk yesterday. We're going to be talking about it. But I had a very productive talk yesterday with President Putin. We'll see what happens. But the war in the Middle East was far more complicated. We got that one done. And I think we have a good chance. I think President Zelensky wants it done, and I think President Putin wants it done. Now all they have to do is get along a little bit.
Can you give us an update on the trade negotiations with China, or perhaps Secretary of Defense?
Yeah, I will, and I'm going to let Scott do that. But I think we're doing very well. I think we're getting along with China. China would like to have something. As of this moment, we'll be meeting in a couple of weeks. We'll be meeting in South Korea.
You think
myself.
Will go forward?
I think so. It looks like it's going forward. I think so. They want to meet. We like to meet. I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and we're going to see what happens. But, you know, for years we were taken advantage of by China very badly. We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year to China. We really built their military, if you think about it. The kind of money that presidents allowed to be lost to China was just insane. And then when I came into office, as you know, I put very severe tariffs. So we took in hundreds of billions of dollars in my first term from China. Biden let that go because it was so much. He let it continue, but he gave all sorts of exceptions. And by the time you looked at it, Scott, I would say it wasn't the same thing. He would give an exception for anything. If you got up and went out to dinner, he'd give you an exception. So it wasn't the same thing. But I put on very serious tariffs. So we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. And then I left office. The election was rigged. I left office, and that was the story. Now I come back, and we are in a very strong position because of tariffs. We're in a very powerful position because of the fact that we have tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be in a very weak position. We would be in a weakened state. But with tariffs, we've made hundreds of billions of dollars, not only from China, but from others. And China wants to talk, and we like talking to China. So we have a very good relationship, and we're going to be meeting in South Korea a couple of weeks. And I just got back from a long trip. I'm going on another long trip. And Scott, do you want to say a few words on that, please?
Yes, sir. So the entire relationship stems from the great respect that the two leaders have for each other. China did a substantial, unprovoked escalation last week. We were unable to get in touch with them. Since then, it's been IMF World Bank Week. They have had working level people here who there have been meetings. The vice premier, who is my counterpart, and I will be speaking this evening at around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then he and I and a delegation will meet in Malaysia probably a week from tomorrow to prepare for the two presidents to meet. So I think that things have de-escalated. We hope that China will show the respect that we have shown them. And I am confident that President Trump, because of his relationship with President Xi, will be able to get things back on a good course.
Is the hope for that meeting with you and President Xi some kind of trade deal then? Or
Could be. Look, I think we're in a very strong position. I think we're in a very strong position. We're getting, as you know, as of November 1st, I could move it up if I wanted, a 100% tariff over and above what we get now. So that would make it about 157%. And China doesn't want that, and they want to talk, and we're talking. And I think we'll make a deal that will be good for both. I think we will do something. But you have to understand, we never got anything from China. It was a one-way street. For many years, for decades, it was a one-way street. And they became rich because of the United States. And frankly, presidents that, let's be nice, they didn't know. They just didn't know. They didn't understand what was happening to them. But I understood it. I understood it long before I ran for politics. I used to watch in amazement at how stupid our country was, how stupid they were. And we're not stupid anymore. And that includes with the European Union. That includes with Japan and South Korea. All we want to do is be treated fairly. But the fairly is hundreds of billions and even trillions of dollars coming into the United States. And it's our national security is secure because of tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we would have no national security. So it's very important.
Will you seek China's help in ending the war in Ukraine? Do you need them to put pressure on Russia?
I'll be discussing that, but I'd love to see it ended before that.
President
I mean, I think we have a chance of ending the war quickly if flexibility is shown on behalf. And again, we're not losing people. The United States is not. We're not losing people. We're not spending money. We're getting paid for the, ammunition and missiles and everything else that we're sending to the European Union, but to NATO. But it's very similar. If you look at the countries, I mean, it's very similar. And we just made a very fair trade deal with the European Union, and what we wanted, and we made a very good deal with NATO too. They pay for all of this. That's not what we're in this for. We're in it to save thousands of lives every week. Thousands and thousands of lives. That's why we're in it. And I think we have a very good chance of bringing this war to a conclusion.
You're a peace president, and your cabinet has done honestly an excellent job. I think that a lot of people could agree to that.
Thank you.
I'm speaking as someone who lost my father in a war, so I know the human cost. What would your advice be to American leaders, to world leaders, to neocons, to TV hosts who often speak about conflict in abstract or strategic terms rather than the human cost and the human terms?
Look, my only statement is we have to get together. It's a very small group of people. It's the president, and the president. Okay, 3 presidents. And I'm the mediator president. And I'm mediating not an easy situation. It should be easy, but it's a lot easier when people understand each other, and when they get together, and when they like each other. We don't necessarily have that situation as far as like is concerned. Maybe it can turn around. Maybe it can. But in the meantime, we'll have them keep a little bit of distance, and we're going to see if we can get it done.
Let's see where this goes. And
is number 9.
Going to do.
Okay, this will be number 9 for me. I've solved 8, including the Middle East. I've solved 8. This, I thought, would have been among the easiest. We solved. President Putin mentioned yesterday Armenia. All of the different wars. He said it was amazing because But the big one that he was surprised that we were able to settle was the Middle East. He thought it was incredible. He was very generous in that sense. This should be something we're able to settle, and I think we will be able to settle.
Brian. Yes, sir. On that note, you will go down as the peacemaker, no doubt, and you will resolve this war.
Well, we resolved 8 others. It's funny how people say that. If you get this one, every time I do one, they forget about that one. I solved 8 wars. Go to Rwanda and the Congo, talk about India and Pakistan, look at Thailand, look at all of the wars that we solved. And every time I solve one, they say, if you solve the next one, you're going to get the Nobel Prize. I didn't get a Nobel Prize. Somebody got it who's a very nice woman, very nice. I don't know who she is, but she was very generous. So I don't care about all that stuff. I just care about saving lives. But this will be number 9. But every time I solve one, they said, sir, if you solve one more, you're going to be known as a peacekeeper. So to the best of my knowledge, we've never had a president that solved one war. Not one war. Bush started a war. A lot of them start wars, but they don't solve the wars. They don't settle them. And especially when they have nothing to do with us. I guess just about all of these wars had nothing to do with us. But I saved tens of millions of lives. The Prime Minister of Pakistan said, I saved millions of lives in interceding on Pakistan, and you look at Pakistan and India as an example. That would have been a bad one, 2 nuclear nations, right? So I say this, this is pretty much the last one, although I do understand that Pakistan attacked, or there is an attack going on with Afghanistan. That's an easy one for me to solve if I have to solve it. In the meantime, I have to run the USA, but I love solving wars. You know why? I like stopping people from being killed, and I've saved millions and millions of lives, and I think we're going to have success with this war. Wait, please.
This, President Zelensky, this is your 3rd time over here. Oh. And by the way, you look excellent.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
For you, by the way. This is your 3rd time here. How different sitting across from the president is this time versus the 2 previous times here at the White House, and how confident are you hearing the success rate of solving these prior wars that he can get this war solved?
First of all, about suit. The same suit because the same president. It's very simple. The next president will have another suit. Yes. About our relations with President Trump, I think we have important dialogues, and I think we begin to understand each other. Yes, and I know that President is briefed very well about situation in the battlefield, and he knows a lot what's going on in the battlefield in Ukraine, and I think it really helps when you know a lot of things, a lot of details about one or another war. It helps a lot, but we are still in war, and I hope we can manage.
You have been
I think
clear
it's
that there are some
important.
countries that are not meeting their commitment. You pointed out Spain. They said that it's impossible.
No, Spain has not come through. No, Spain has not been loyal to NATO. Spain has been, they're the only one. Everyone went up to, as you know, I mean, you were at 2% and they all went up to 5%, but Spain disagreed with that. I think Spain should be reprimanded for that. I think it's very bad that they did that, but that's up to them. That's up to NATO and Spain.
They cannot be expelled from NATO.
Can they or not?
They cannot, according to the treaty, but they also claim that they are protected by the European Union umbrella for trade.
Well, the other people, many of the other countries are in the European Union too. They're not complaining, right?
President President tell you that Putin is serious.
That's of interest.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you think you can carry the momentum from the Middle East deal over to this deal? And if
I do.
So, how does that move the needle?
Yeah, I do. I think we carry a lot of momentum, a lot of credibility. Getting Middle East done was very important. Nobody thought it could be done. That was one nobody thought could be done, and we got it done. And a lot of that was the big hit that we put on Iran with respect to the nuclear. They took that was an unbelievable military maneuver, the B-2s, and many other planes involved, by the way, but the B-2s. Yeah, I think nobody expected that to happen, and we had 59 countries involved, and these were countries very diverse. You had Arab, Muslim, Jewish. You had every country, Christian. You had every country, and many countries involved, and we got that done. And we got it done pretty swiftly after we after we set the table properly. We had to set the table properly. This should be one that we get done. And I think the table is set properly here now, too. And it'll be a great honor. It'll be a great honor to get it done. And the Ukrainian people are great, and the Russian people are great. And obviously they have much in common, as we understand. They have a lot in common. So it'll be a great honor to get it done.
On Venezuela, there are survivors from your latest boat strike. What happens to those survivors?
Well, I'll ask Marco to discuss that possibly.
Yeah, it's well known there's an ongoing narco-terrorist operation the United States has been conducting. As far as details of any recent strikes, we're not prepared here to announce all those details, but you'll get that information here very shortly.
And how are there survivors when these are meant to be lethal attacks?
Yeah, again, I mean, we're undertaking these operations against narco-terrorists. That's what these are. These are terrorists. Let's be clear. And but as far as the details of any recent operations, when we are prepared to announce those, we will, as the president has consistently done. So you may get something on that later today.
Let me ask you, that was in a submarine, right? We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs, just so you understand. This was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines, and that was an attack on a drug-carrying, loaded-up submarine. Yeah.
On Putin, is it your belief, as Mr. Zelensky said yesterday, that the threat of tomahawks and costs, as Secretary Hicks put it, is that bringing him to the table, the fact that it's kind of a carrot and a stick?
I don't know what's bringing him to it. I think he wants to make a deal, that's all. I can't tell you what's bringing him. Sure, that's the threat of that is good, but the threat of that is always there. Tomahawks are very dangerous weapons. They're incredible weapons. If you like warfare, it's one of the most accurate. You know, we hit 30 Tomahawks in Iran after the B-2s did their damage. We sort of gave it a little capper with 30 Tomahawks from a submarine, quite far away actually. But they're an amazing weapon. They're a very powerful weapon, but they're a very dangerous weapon. And it could mean big, escalation. It could mean a lot of bad things can happen. Tomahawks are a big deal. But one thing I have to say, we want Tomahawks also. We don't want to be giving away things that we need to protect our country. We have a very strong country right now. We have a strong military. We have the greatest military in the world. We have the greatest weapons in the world. I want to get this war over. Okay?
Putin-Trump tunnel to connect Russia and Alaska. Are you interested?
I just heard about it. A tunnel from Russia to Alaska. I just heard about that one. That's an interesting one. We'll have to think about that. I hadn't heard that. We just did a nice road in Alaska that's going to get us to a lot of minerals, and we have a piece of it, a good piece of the ownership because of the fact we made it possible. But this came up yesterday, a tunnel from Russia to Alaska. That's an interesting. What do you think of that, Mr. President? Do you have any ideas? How do you like that idea?
I'm not happy with this.
I don't think you're going to like it. I don't think he liked it. I don't think he liked it.
President Trump, do you think that Vladimir Putin, do you think that Putin, your gut instinct?
Well, we had a senator that wanted, remember, from Hawaii, she wanted a tunnel from the mainland to Hawaii, and she said, well, we can't do that, so we're going to build a railroad to Hawaii. Do you remember? She's a current sitting senator, a Democrat. She wants a railroad to go to Hawaii, right? You know who that is, right? She's another. She's another beauty.
President Trump, your gut instinct.
Yeah, please.
On your meeting with Putin, aren't you concerned that maybe the Russian president is trying to buy himself more time?
Yeah, I am. But you know, I've been played all my life by the best of them, and I came out really well. So it's possible. Yeah, a little time.
Is your gut instinct?
It's all right. But I think that I'm pretty good at this stuff. I think that he wants to make a deal.
I can relate.
I made
to that.
8 of them. I'm going to make a 9th. I think he wants to make a deal.
How many of you can relate to that statement? Been played by the best of them.
Well, I
We
think
turned out
that
okay.
he should have won the war in a week. Yeah, I do think.
We turned out okay.
And if we didn't give the anti-tank missiles, as you know, the javelins they call them, They got stuck in the mud. They would have been in Kiev very quickly. They were heading to Kiev. So, in war,
my
you have
bad,
a lot of
my
luck
bad, my
too.
bad.
You
Is that
know,
better? Is that-
people-
that should be
Weather has won war, and the cold and the heat and all things take place in war. But that was a very interesting moment when the tanks started rolling and some brilliant general said, "Let's go through the mud instead of going down the highway."
That should be better.
So they got a little bit lucky. But you know where they really got lucky? I gave javelins. That wasn't given by Barack Hussein Obama. He gave them sheets. You know, there's a statement. Obama gave them sheets, and I gave them the javelins. And the javelins are a devastating weapon.
Let's go.
And
This
that wasn't
might just
given
be
by
bullish, guys.
Obama. That was given by because at the time it was
Let me know
Obama.
what you guys think in the chat. But
That was given by me. So it was
how are
like
the markets reacting?
one of those
Hold on.
things. And you had hundreds of them.
Hold
Hundreds
on.
of them. They're a devastating weapon. We have a lot of devastating weapons. I'd rather not use them. But that was a big moment. You know, when the tanks got stuck,
guys, which do you prefer?
they got stuck.
You like
And,
it? You like it like
call
this?
it luck or call it talent. I'm not sure what you'd call it, but
With
it was
both
a
on
big
the screen?
moment in time.
Do you think Democrats can give you credit? Do you think Democrats can give you credit when you finally end this war, like they did with the war in the Middle East? And second
I think
question-
right now the Democrats are really damaged, mentally damaged. They want to take 1.5 trillion with a T, $1 trillion and give it to people that invaded our country. They came into our country illegally from prisons, from mental institutions, gang members. They want to give them health care and take it away from our citizens. We're not going to do that. $1.5 trillion.
Look at this.
They want to destroy. They want to destroy our health care system. We're not going to let that happen.
Have you authorized CIA operations in Venezuela as part of
Well, I wouldn't say that, but some interesting things are happening around the world. I'll say that.
It's been reported, Mr. President, it has been reported that Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys. Let's go.
What? Let me hold on. That was live, but let me
5 trillion with a T.
hold on just a second,
$1 trillion
folks.
and give it to people that invaded our country. They came into our country.
Let me click live. It's over. Hold on. Let me rerun this.
Country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys. Let's go.
Hold on, folks. Hold on, folks. We just had the fuck around and find out from the President of the United States, my friends. Okay? For those of you that are joining the stream just now, we just had the total FAFO moment live coming straight out of the White House. Hold up.
Democrats are really
this-
damaged,
look.
mentally damaged.
We got to make it.
They
Okay,
wanna
look. This is
take
insane.
1.5
I love
trillion
it.
with a T.
I love it, bro.
$1 trillion and give it to
I
people
love
that
it.
invaded our country. They came into our country illegally from prisons, from mental institutions, gang members. They want to give them health care and take it away from our citizens. We're not going to do that. $1.5 trillion. They want to destroy. They want to destroy our health care system. We're not going to let that happen.
Have you authorized CIA operations in Venezuela as
Oh my gosh.
Well, I wouldn't say
Look.
that, but
Hold on. Look.
some interesting things are happening around the world. I'll say that.
It's been reported, Mr. President, it has been reported that Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, that's meme worthy,
Thank you,
folks.
everybody.
That is meme worthy.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to be the first one to drop a meme on that. Oh my gosh, bro. That right there was incredible. Okay? That was incredible. To be honest, the reporter was speaking so quietly, I don't even know who he was speaking about. Who was he speaking about?
Interesting things are happening. Give them health care. Trillion with a T.
Hold on. It was this guy right here.
When you finally end this war, like
Wait.
they did with the war in the Middle East. And
I think right now the Democrats are really damaged, mentally damaged.
Hold on. Who was he
They want to
speaking about?
take 1.5 trillion with a T, $1 trillion, and give it to people that invaded our country. They came into our country illegally.
Who was he speaking
from
about?
prisons, from mental institutions, gang members. They want to give them health care and take it away from our citizens. We're not going to do that. $1.5 trillion. They want to destroy. They want to destroy our health care system. We're not going to let that happen.
Have you authorized CIA operations in Venezuela as part of
Well, I wouldn't say
Venezuela.
that, but some interesting things are happening around the world. I'll say that.
It's been reported, Mr. President, it has been reported that Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, I can't get enough of it. I love it. Let's go. USA. 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 All right. Listen, one more time for the people just joining, okay? Because we just had about 10 people come in. We just finished watching this live, and we just got to go just back to the moment, the exact moment.
But
okay?
Some interesting things are happening around the world. I'll say that.
It's been reported, Mr. President, it has been reported that
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. But here we go, man. Trump dropping the F-bomb live at the Zelensky meeting.
offering mediation. What should we do
He
in order
has
to stop that?
he has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Beast mode, baby. 100% beast mode, President Trump. I mean, just, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks about the man. You got to love the man, okay? Oh, my goodness, guys. What an amazing... Okay, look. This turned out to be much better than the IVF announcement from President Trump. This turned out to be actually, you know, worthy of our attention, okay? Because not only did Trump drop the F-bomb, but give me $20, mate. Top 10 everything. Oh, maybe I'll give you $20. We might do a $20 giveaway, bros, for top 10 everything. Listen, not only did we have some epic conversations between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky, we had some epic conversations, okay? Yes, Ben, we do giveaways here. It has been a moment, so they are coming. But for top 10 everything, you know, let's see what we can do. First of all, top 10 everything, what is your top 10? We had epic conversations between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky about peace deals, okay? About peace deals. Now, we were watching the price of Bitcoin move to the upside at the time. Gold as well. Gold right now, pushing all-time highs for gold. I've heard talks of gold being in the euphoria stage, and it's looking that way. But is it possible that these peace deals and these peace talks with China, with Ukraine and Russia, these peace talks and deals, how will they affect the market? And guys, don't forget to answer the poll that we have in our chat. Will this meeting between Trump and Zelensky that we just watched, will this meeting affect the crypto market and Bitcoin? This is a developing story, right? It's still developing, and we still have more to look forward to in the coming days and weeks. But what we can see is that we are already getting a market reaction to this. Now, while we are still at a critical level of support at the 200-day moving average. Guys, you know, you've heard it. You've heard it. Bitcoin breaking the 200-day moving average. Are these talks between Trump and Zelensky and the meeting between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, are these talks of peace going to be enough to keep the price of Bitcoin above critical moving averages such as the 200-day, and as well as Ethereum needing to hold the 50-week moving average? What will happen? War dumps the markets, peace pumps the markets. Can we get a peace pump, please? Could we get a peace pump? Let me pull the chat up over here. I have the chat. I have you guys just hanging out. I've turned the entire chat into lurkers, man, by leaving you guys out of the picture. What am I doing here? Let's look. We've got the beautiful Mars attack. We got the beautiful Mars attack over here. The Mars attack building going on. But we need to have the chat, because I need to engage with my people. And I need to talk to you guys, man. What did we just witness, folks? I need to talk. We need to talk about this right now. Okay. What did we just witness, you guys? What did we just witness? And what exactly is going to happen with the market right now? Because Ethereum's still below. Hey, we are back at that critical 3,800 support. Back at critical 3,800 support. I tell you what, let's see. I have too many of the same charts pulled up here. What is going on? Okay, let's get rid of this. No, I don't know. Save and close? What do I do? Have different? Nothing. I have too many charts up, guys. Okay. Again, I need to get in here. We got to talk about this, man. Right? Peace pumps the markets. War dumps the markets. And we need to talk about what we just witnessed. Peace through strength. Peace through, what is this? Peace through power. Peace through FAFO. Because that's what we just heard, man. That is what we just heard, okay? You know, that was pretty incredible, I will say. You know, just the moment.
Gang members. The
moment
offered everything
was very epic.
In his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What could we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. Bitcoin now blasting above that previous local high there. Gold also still going to the upside. We have gold and Bitcoin as well just ticking to the upside here. Can we break above this previous high right here for gold? Bitcoin just broke its previous high, but is it enough? What top 10 everything. Anyways, 20th is when Powell is to talk. No, I believe so, Deadwood. So we are to expect Jerome Powell as well. We've got interest rate cut decisions coming possibly this month. We got interest rate. We got FOMC in December. Another FOMC meeting coming. You know, likely interest rate cuts. Market is about to get hot. I mean, things are heating up. There's only one big thing, right? The levels that Bitcoin needs to hold, the levels that Ethereum needs to hold, right? We got to make sure that we hold those levels to keep us from going into a bearish trend. Incredible, absolutely wild. I mean, really, Oh no, Deadwood or Green Fingers. Did you miss it? Did you miss it? Peace. Hey Taja, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you, Ben. Good to see you, Deadwood. Good to see you, Alexander G. Thank you for being here with us. Top 10 everything. Thank you for being here with us today. I appreciate you guys in the chat, man. Those of you that aren't in the chat, you should definitely get your butt in the chat. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Oh man, the lurkers, man. I have to use the word. I give credit where credit's due, though. I didn't come up with the word. I just like the word. I appreciate the lurkers, though. Thank y'all very much for being here today and witnessing an epic moment, guys. A truly epic moment. Okay, and you know, we're gonna hear this. You're gonna see this all over your headlines. Just wait for it. Wait for it. It's coming. Within the next few minutes, every single news outlet likely will be talking about Trump dropping the F-bomb in his meeting with Zelensky. Oh, good times, good times, good times. Now, will this be bullish or bearish for the crypto market? Will it send a Bitcoin higher? Right now, Bitcoin and gold are both going higher, but gold is definitely looking very nice. I mean, what are you going to do, gold? What are you going to do here? What are you going to do? Bitcoin, though. Bitcoin, on the other hand, well, you know, what can you do? You've already came back and filled out the wick, right? You've already filled out the wick. So what can you do? Well, Bitcoin, you know, you really don't have much option here except bounce. Because if you don't bounce, then, well, oh yeah, if you don't bounce here, then, well, Bitcoin, it's you know, it's not going to be so good for you, Bitcoin, because, you know, you've got your channel. But then you've got your longer term uptrend support. And, you know, we don't want to see none of that broke, right? We don't want to see that break. We do not want to see this break. 200-day moving average as well. And again, Bitcoin is broke the 200-day before. So the 200-day moving average breaking itself is not really everything to pay attention to. It is something to pay attention to, but we have broken it before. Bitcoin's broken it here. We broke it here. So, you know, the 200-day moving average breaking is significant. But it's not something that's going to determine, you know, automatic bear market. Okay. It's not an automatic bear market indicator, right? It's not an automatic bear market signal. Just because the Bitcoin price drops below the 200-day moving average doesn't mean that we're going to go into an all-out bear market or crypto winter, you know? Now, once we What is going on? What does this mean? What does that even mean, bro? I've never even seen that. I don't know what that means. To be honest, I don't know what that means. But, okay. But now, that threw me all off, guys. As I was saying, okay. Breaking the 200-day moving average is not everything. Not an automatic bear market indicator, not an automatic bear market signal to look at, right? Even if we broke the 200-day moving average, we can look at the weekly and we can see what is likely to happen, what could happen, and why it could happen. And we can see that it would give us another big drop in the Bitcoin price before we actually lift off. Now, we've done it before. It's played out like this many times. So we have to take that into consideration. It has played out like this, and everything is pointing to this. The only thing that I could think of right now, is if Bitcoin could hold 108,800. If we can get to 108,800 and hold that, which is what this liquid index chart is showing currently, right? Which is not the current Bitcoin price. Current Bitcoin price, 106,800. Liquid index price, 108,800. This is right at the 50-week moving average for Bitcoin, and the 50-week moving average for Bitcoin needs to hold. And if the 50-week moving average could hold here, then we might not need to get this next drop in. Because if the 50-week moving average held, then we could squeeze between it and the LSMA, and that would get us a nice little price movement to the upside from right here. Otherwise, likely it's going to play out just like every other time before. So the drop down to this level really makes a lot of sense, right? The drop down to that level makes perfect sense. So that's going to be my go-to, man. 95, 98,000, 95, 98,000, and 95 to 98,000 needs to hold. That's going to be my go-to. That's the bull market support band for me. If we don't hold that, then we will be looking at some nasty prices, man. I mean, nasty but good. Good if you want to buy it, but nasty if you miss the top. If Bitcoin were to drop all the way back down and retest 70,000, 70,000, But if we hold that, if we hold 98, 95, if we can hold that, Bitcoin could potentially run all the way to 190 to 200,000 by sometime in 2026, possibly. If we had a parabolic run off of this, right? If we had a parabolic run that was similar to, our runs back here before, if we had a run similar to something like this, then by all means, it might do it, It might do it. It might just do it before. Well, that's a terrible idea. But it might just do it before 2026. This line shows not November of this year, right? So November of this year, possibly, if we had something like this play out, right? If you had something like that play out, that would look nice. Let me get rid of that, clean this up some. That is, but yeah, I mean, the TA always plays out. I mean, not always, but typically, if it doesn't play out directly to your target, if you put in an area to look at, I mean, almost always. But at this point, Bitcoin's got to hold this, man. If it don't, we're coming down here. We're coming all the way to like 90. We're going to come right on down, right? We're going to come right on down here. We're going to come right on down to there if we don't hold the current support. So let's get a hold on that. Green fingers would short down to 98, 95. I mean, if we lose if we can't hold the 200 day, then yeah, because look, every time we lost the 200 day, in my opinion, every time we lost the 200 day, it looks like we had pretty sharp dips below it, you know? So why wouldn't we have another pretty sharp dip down to 95, potentially? Right? We've had pretty sharp dips every other time after losing the 200-day. And that is right where we're at now. Right here. Right here. Right here. But with that also in mind, if this holds, even if we were to dip down below the 200-day to 95, even if that did happen, look what happened every time so far. Trend has been our friend every single time so far. We have ran up. Now, this last run up, we could not get to this, you know, channel resistance. We were not able to come on up. We couldn't make it to 150,000. But could that be this bounce right here? Could this be the bounce that gets us to 160, 170,000, 175,000? Because all it would take, literally all it would take, is a breakout like this. All it would take is a similar breakout like this to get us to $170,000 Bitcoin. Same exact thing. Arrow, Ondo, Plume, Solana, and Ethereum. Let's go, Deadwood. Got that bag ready. Celinda Anderson, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. I remember you. Thank you for being here. Top 10 everything. Still here. I appreciate you. Taja, I appreciate you as well. Guys, do not forget. Do not forget. Take full advantage of this. Take full advantage of this. Up to $1,000 deposit bonus right now. It ends October 31st. So get it while the getting is good. And, you know, here is the link right here. I will go ahead and copy and paste that link right into the chat for you guys. Because you only have until October 31st. And if you are trading crypto anyways, and you're going to be depositing money anywhere, somewhere anyways, you know, to trade crypto, then, you know, why not use my link and get a nice hefty deposit bonus and also support the channel, you know? So as soon as this will load up, I will copy and paste this link real quick. Up to a $1,000 deposit bonus for using that link. It does end October 31st. So you want to get in on while the getting is good, while you got a chance to get in on that. If you're going to trade crypto anyways, it's a great way to get some extra trading money. You know, technically speaking, this would be a buy zone. You would technically want to buy here, right? We are at support. We are at the low. The only thing is that on this recent move up, we did get rejected here, and we're not able to actually go as high as we really should have. I feel like that might have been manipulation. You know, we had all of the fear that kind of kept the price sideways here, when really, when we look at the trend, at support, we get nice runs, but we got halted because of fear. Going into August, September, wars, trade wars, tariffs, economic policy, government shutdowns, all of the fear, right? Why would we break down again at all-time high? No $20 today. Oh, you mean like as in a giveaway? Well, you know, we might work something out. It probably it would not be today. And you know, I was honestly joking slightly about that, but that's okay. We could work something out. Not today though. I do have to go pick up my daughter from school, and you know, the time I'm on a time crunch today. I am on a time crunch. You know, my daughter's going to be waiting for me. Don't want to be late to pick her up. You know, she expects me to be there right on time, you know. So, you know, smash the like out there for single dads, man. Yeah, but surprise. But we had to hop on here, guys, and cover this meeting. And gosh, was it a doozy. It was not what we expected, honestly. I mean, the talks between Trump and Zelensky were good. They were positive. It was, you know, it was talks of peace. And we talked about it in the chat, right? For those of you just now joining us, we talked about it in the chat. And, you know, if you are joining us, don't forget, you know, hop in the chat. Let's discuss. Let's engage with about it. Let's have a conversation. But, you know, peace pump, war dump, right? So, you know, talks of peace. Think about this, right? We had the tariff fears and the liquidation up here at all time, you know, up here close to all time highs. And look, we've got the talks of peace down here at support. And, you know, timing is everything. And sometimes you can't help but think that these people running things are obviously, think about it. The resources that they have are unimaginable to the average person, right? We don't know. We only know what we're told or what we can uncover or discover. But the resources and what they are able to do, psychologically, it's incredible. It's unimaginable, right? So we can only imagine what is actually going on and taking place. And when it comes to the timing of these things, timing of these meetings, right? Think about how late Trump was to the meeting before. Coincidence or just an accident? Or was it strategic? Because everything is strategic, right? Everything is strategic. And possibly even the same with his meeting with Zelensky. Now, what about this? Was him dropping the F-bomb at the end of the meeting there? Or, well, it was really a press conference there towards the end. Him and Zelensky spoke together, and then there was basically a press conference. But was him dropping the F-bomb at the end there, was that strategic? What was that? Or was that just Trump being Trump? What do you guys think in the chat? I mean, you know, was that just Trump being Trump? What was that? All I know is that I liked it. I can't help it. It was amazing. You know, absolutely amazing. F around and find out. That's what he said. F around and find out, folks. And, you know, obviously we care more about what it's going to do to our bags, right? We care more about what all this is going to do to our money. What's it going to do to our portfolio? And should we even think about trading any of this? crazy volatility at the moment, because I have seen a lot of people on Crypto X, Crypto Twitter getting wrecked trading this stuff. Now, some people making bank off the volatility, of course. But should we be trading this? You know, because at some point you have to think, I mean, is this worth trying to catch? You know, is the risk to reward there? Do we have enough leverage on this to justify a trade? I will say one thing. According to the daily Bitcoin chart and according to my analysis, you know, we are at a historic buying zone, okay, during this bull market cycle. This has been a historically, as far as going back to summer of 2024, and even all the way back here to January of 2024, historically where we are at right now is 100% a buying zone for Bitcoin. This is where you should be buying Bitcoin, according to this chart. But, you know, it's only if it holds. And the trend is your friend until it's not. And then when it's not, it's usually too late. So this is why I say that this is a time to be very cautious, because anything could flip the market. And yes, we could go bullish. We could go parabolic. We could run to $175,000 Bitcoin. We could. 100%. We had this same exact percentage move right here back in November of 24. Same thing. Could the same thing happen this year, just like it happened in 2024? 100%, sure. Let's run to run to new all-time highs about November, December, and then come on down. It could happen. It could 100% happen here. Now, the thing is, we've already been in a bull run now, right? Technically, this is all. I mean, we've had pullback, we've had consolidations, corrections, right, along the way. But typically, you would consider our bull market cycle, right? This is the bull market, right? January 2023, baby. That was him. That was him. January, you know what? November, December, right? November 2022. That was him right there, fellas. That was him. That was the one. And so really, guys, you know what? We could even, and this might be a little off the wall. Bear with me, step into the speculation station for me real quick. But if you think about it, we have serious long-term bull market support starting at the previous bear market low, right? Because this all connects, and there's a lot of daily candles connecting here. And then what did we do? Came down, bounced off of it here. What did we do after we ran up a little bit more? We came down, found more support on this, and had our massive run. So, with that being said, is that support level back here, is this and this significant enough to say that Bitcoin could come as low as these price levels here and still be in a bull run? What do you think? Because if it did, that would put Bitcoin a target of possibly as low as 88,000. 80. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Possibly a target of around 85,000. Okay, let me get rid of my squiggles. Possibly 85,000 right here. Okay. Give or take, it's going to be right around 84.9, 84, and a half to 85,000. Okay, that is going to be it, right? And that's because of this back here. Now, let's go ahead and get rid of that, and let's just go ahead and point this out, right? We're going to point this out. This is bull market support. Okay, so again, this is going to be the go-to. And I still say 85 or so. But this makes sense. And you know, if we're talking about where Bitcoin might go, if the 200-day moving average does not keep us up as it has consistently here, and that is where we are at currently, then this is where we will go. And you know what? It all makes sense. I mean, it all lines up. It always lines up. It always lines up. So again, $85,600 potentially, give or take in that range, right? Not exactly. I can't pinpoint the exact price level, but there's definitely going to be a range. And then of course we got we can have to pull up another chart, pull up the volume range, but you know, there's no volume on this chart. But if that happened, the thing is, if that happened on the weekly, where would that put us on the weekly? Look at where that would put us on the weekly. Now, I'm just telling you, if Bitcoin drops into this band, to this target on the weekly, I mean, we would have to, I'll tell you what, you know, we have tested the 200-week moving average before, only during the COVID crash, only during the bear market or the COVID crash. Otherwise, when we pass below the 200-week moving average, which is in red here, you know, that's definitely bear market lows, right? Bear market lows. Okay, we cross above the 200-week moving average, and it's off to the races, right? Ride the 50-week and the LSMA all the way up the bull market. But could we come all the way down to the 200-week moving average and still be in a bull market? This is a question that I need some help with, okay? What do you guys think? Tell me. Please comment. If you're watching the stream replay, comment in the comment section. Let me know what your opinion is on this analysis, because, you know, in order for I feel like if Bitcoin held the 200-week moving average, we're not in a bear market yet. I mean, well, I can't say that. I can't say that because technically, once we break the bottom of this band, really, once we break that, that's when it's bear market territory. So I really can't say that the 200-week moving average is enough to call the bear market, because, you know, we crossed it here, and we had already came significantly from all-time highs. So we really can't use that. What we can use is the LSMA, the least squares moving average. We can use it and the 50-week, though. So 50-week crosses, LSMA crosses through the 50-week. Price goes into the bear market. MACD, using the MACD as well. Cross, 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 cross. So let's look at where we're at over here. Okay, so again, we've had cross, 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 right? Cross, cross, cross. Yeah, we don't need to go nowhere near the 200-week we go anywhere near the 200-week moving average, I mean, it's OV likely. If we bounced from the 200-week, I mean, you might as well consider that a mini bear market. Bitcoin would drop from 100 to 65,000. So, you know, the 200-week, I don't see. If we go anywhere near the 200-week moving average, then by all means, you might as well just pack it up, get ready for the bear market. We need to hold this level for sure, and we need to not stay in this band right here at all, because if you go back and you look what happened when we fell into it. Okay, for example, why I say we don't need to stay in it for very long. Look back here. We got into the band a little bit in the previous all-time highs, but we got out of it and we went back up. But look what happens when the price gets down in and touches the bottom of this band and we get to rejected by the top of it and we stay in it for too long. It flips red, and that is the bear market indicator. Okay, last bear market indicator, last bear market signal, perfect signal. Here's a perfect signal for you. Here's how you tell when the bear market is going to be coming, okay? This is why I say we're not in a bear market yet, because of this right here. If you look at the MACD, we obviously had some bearish divergence right here, but the price action, the LSMA right here, going over the price falling through below the LSMA, price crashing below the LSMA, the blue moving average here, and the price dipping into this band. And once it dips into the band, what happens? Look at the previous cycle. Before that even. Same indicator still. Look. Same indicator. And then of course once it flips, once the band squeezes and it flips green and bullish, we blast off. Okay? Except for market manipulation like the COVID crash, where the band doesn't know what to do under manipulated price action. But where we're at now is not the end, folks. Where we're at now is actually a massive opportunity, and we still have a good chance of going higher. But if the price action were to do something similar to what it did back here, if it did something similar to what it did here, right here, but I don't think we're to that point yet. Where we're at right now with this straight line is more similar to right here, right? It's more similar to this right here, okay? This is from the previous cycle, and this is where it looks more like we are at currently in the price action for Bitcoin. Does not look like we are at a top. Look at this. Look how this is. This is a top, okay? This is not a top, folks. Maybe a short-term top, but this is not the end of the bull market. Not until we break these thresholds. Once we break some of these thresholds, we might talk bear market. But right now, we are still in good territory. And actually, again, like I mentioned before, historically, all the way back to 2024, this has been a major successful entry point or buying zone. Here was a good buying zone when we dipped down and touched this. Here was a good buying zone when we dipped down and touched this. And now, if we come down just a hair lower to 100,000, 100,000 might be a good buying zone. Even though we might go below it, the daily is still showing signs of the fact we are bouncing off of long-term support. Long-term support, long-term support, long-term support. So we're bouncing off long-term support. And the Bitcoin price is showing it with these wicks, right? Okay, we're bouncing off long-term support, and the Bitcoin price is showing it in the chart, with the Bitcoin chart showing these nice bounces in these wicks off of that key support level. Nice bounces, nice wicks on the daily candles. So the Bitcoin price reacting here bullishly, slightly bullish on the short term to Trump's meeting with Zelensky where he happened to drop the F-bomb. So we just had an FAFO moment today, guys, and it's been one heck of a stream. I don't know what to think about it. You guys tell me what you think, but it just seems wild. It seems wild. So we're gonna get into some more. We're gonna get into some more breaking news and more TA in the coming live streams, guys. I do appreciate y'all. I do have to go get my daughter from work. So with that being said, I do thank you all for showing up. It does mean the world to me. Thank you all for being here for this epic moment as we watched President Trump drop the F-bomb. I know it's not the first time he's dropped the F-bomb, but I wonder if it's because, was it a publicity stunt, or is that just really how he feels? Who knows? But I do know one thing. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for hanging out with me today in the stream. Don't forget to smash that like on the way out if you haven't yet. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, of course. Check the links in the description. And I will see you guys next time.